everybody. Thanks for joining us on another Scholar Shot Live, where we are here to give you tips, advice, and help you in your not only your education, but your future careers. And today, we've got our expert with us here, Heather Lacey. I'm going to allow her to introduce herself. My name is Kara. I'm going to be moderating the discussion. But Heather, go ahead and let folks know who you are and what you do with Scholar Shot.
Yes. Hi. Thank you for the introduction. My name is Heather. I am the project manager with Scholar Shot. So I oversee our mentor program, have insights of daily about what's going on with our scholars, with our mentors, and then also I help with in-house administrative duties.
She does it all, my friends.
Basically.
Basically. So today we're going to be talking about tips for a successful freshman year. And there are a couple of different ones to go over, but these are all, I think they sound very easy to apply to your own life. So Heather, let's kick off with the very first one, joining college university organizations. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so I would like to highlight this point because joining campus organizations helps you not only find interests that you are interested in, but it also helps you network. And usually when you think about joining an organization, you think you have to be affiliated with it or have to meet specific criteria. So for example, I'm Hispanic, so if I wanted to join a all Asian specific organization, I could still join that if I was interested in that. There are no caveats to what organization you are and are not allowed to join. I like to see joining a college and organization as a networking kind of opportunity, because in the future, whenever you are done with college, or even looking for internships, maybe as a sophomore, junior, senior, these communities and these organizations can help you. They have people come in from who are partners with their organization. For example, if you join a business organization, they usually have different companies come in and speak to students, and they can sometimes provide internships for that organization, and kind of like another peak and another person touch point for that.
And you also mentioned here joining intramural sports. Did you play intramural sports, or is that that seems like another great way to just network?
Yes, I actually did play intramural sports. I played soccer. I tried volleyball. It was very intense. They hit the ball way too hard. It came towards my face way too fast.
Oh my God.
So I did not do that anymore. I continued with soccer. But another thing is just another success is to kind of also create a schedule. With intramural sports, we had certain games at certain times or practices or meeting together. So that kind of helped emphasize a schedule. And so some of these tips are not only just networking, but you can kind of see them as a different aspect. So intramural sports, obviously you're going to get in shape, you're going to have fun with your peers, but also it creates a schedule, it creates a regimen for you. Maybe you want to stay in shape for that sport, because you can't play soccer if you're not running or not staying in shape. It is kind of difficult to play any sport whenever you're not staying healthy, staying active, going for walks, and it can be minimal, low impact type of activities as well.
I guess that kind of goes along this next one, finding a community that you want to be a part of. What did you mean by that?
Yeah. So again, going back to organizations. So maybe you are interested in faith-based organizations and you want to be a part of a different community. You can go to, I know for me, I went to A&M College Station. So there was a lot of churches that were a part of campus life. And then not only that, you knew the people who were going to that church. So the people who were going to that church were your college peers. And not only just community faith-based wise, but also finding community where maybe it's your neighbors that you are living next to in your apartment or your house or wherever it may be. It's finding a community where, again, circling back, having a support system. So maybe you find your community through an organization, through a intramural sport, a faith-based organization, whatever it may be. The community there is to help you in the aspect of mental health and emotional support.
Your next one you sent me was explore all the classes, and you put all caps.
Yes, all the classes. So when I say all of the classes, I mean that because a lot of the times you're so gung ho as a freshman. I like to say, like, you have horse blinders on. You're so set and narrow and focused on one thing and one thing only. But by exploring all of these different classes and maybe different majors or picking up a minor, you're able to figure out what actually interests you. For example, a lot of our students, currently as juniors, they end up changing their mind. Or we have one student currently who was interning in fashion, but now she is interning in a finance department. So yes, she is still in business, but the finance aspect kind of has helped her change her perspective and her career trajectory. So explore all the classes. You may not think you need it or want it. I know for me, I wish I would have explored more with data driven classes, just because that is something I avoided, not going to lie, in college because it wasn't for me and I just didn't want to do it. But now looking back, I wish I would have explored those classes because it definitely would be a lot more helpful now.
Interesting. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. We talked about this briefly when I did a live with, I think it was Carlos not too long ago. And no, sorry, it was April. And we were talking about going to college and thinking about your career from kind of the get-go, so that you have that in your mind that, you're going to college to go to a career. And I feel like this is what your next point here. Start exploring what companies you want to work with. You don't want to wait till you're about to graduate.
Yeah, so by exploring, it just means also just simply exploring the company. So getting familiar with their website, seeing the type of people who work there, seeing what positions they typically have available. What is their work culture like? Does this company have a LinkedIn? How often do they post? What do they do for their employees? It's not necessarily applying for the job and getting a job or getting the internship. Exploring means getting to know that community work culture, getting to know like about their PTO, getting to know about what incentives, what like business outings have, kind of those types of things, and seeing if their values, their goals, and their mission aligns with what you have as a person. So does my company's mission align with my mission in life? And kind of thinking of that, it's not just applying for an internship. It really is exploring their community that they have built for their company and their company reputation.
Yeah, and some of them do a really good job, and others not so much.
Yeah, so you can tell the difference for sure.
Okay, the next one you have here on the list of things to do, check out campus resources. What are you talking about?
So another tip is for campus resources is like to check them out. And by that, I mean is seeing what is available to you. When are the hours? When do I need a schedule? How often is their schedule overloaded? Do I have to wait a month out to schedule an appointment? What's going on? So the campus resources, again, I always say to check them out because they are free. Not necessarily free. You are paying them in your tuition and fees.
Good point. True.
I know. Before someone comes for me, you are paying for them, but they are free. I mean, in hindsight, to me, I like to see campus resources as a discount. Like, for example, going to the health services, you can go to the health services and it can be, if you can't afford it at the time, it can be charged to your student account and you can pay it at a later date or monthly. But for example, I remember needing to go to the doctor's office when I got sick in school. So I went to our campus doctor's office, and the visit costs, I think, about $20. And then my medicine costs like $10, which is a complete fraction of the cost compared to going off campus. And these are real doctors, still certified. They are all legitimate. So all these campus resources are from a professional in that background. So there also is mental health services, counseling services, career services, and sometimes they give away free like suits that you need. Maybe they give you a voucher to go get a free suit that you need help with, or maybe you need some advice with internships or advice on LinkedIn. And again, these services outside of school, once you're done with school, are charged at like $300 probably some, depending on what you're trying to gain, like headshots. Headshots are a very expensive commodity. Those are going to run you at least $70+ depending on who you're getting it from and how experienced they are. So, and that can be done on campus for free. So using those resources is what I mean is you're already paying for it. Go ahead and use them. And then also someone, if they don't know, they can typically refer you. So again, you're getting a referral code kind of like at a discount.
Okay, good to know. Yes, take advantage. Okay, let's talk about the power of no. What do you mean?
So the power of no. So that can be seen in so many different ways, but I like to see it as you saying no being, as it said, no is a complete sentence. And then not only that, sometimes you need to say no to certain situations, certain scenarios. I can give off a few examples. For example, sometimes your family are going to want you to come back home on weekends, and they might want you to come home every weekend, but that's going to be a tough no to say to your family because you need to focus on maybe your school studies or something else like that. So the power of no comes in handy, not only to yourself, but to your friends and to your family. And again, it's setting a healthy boundary for yourself and for the others. Because again, if you are going home every weekend, you're probably going to be failing behind on your classes if you're not managing your time well. So the power of no can help you in that instance. The power of no can also help you when your friends are asking you to go out to eat when you need to really study for an exam, or the power of no helps you say no to something that you aren't comfortable with doing, or maybe you are a member, you have a role in your organization as treasurer or something. Saying no can also help you from taking on too much. So the power of no is something I think is easier said than done, but helpful.
Well, then on top of the power of no, you also have power in failing, which nobody wants to hear about, but I know exactly where you're coming from.
Yeah. So again, kind of circling back to power of no, power of failing is seeing it as, instead of a negative, as a positive. So let's say, for example, again, these scenarios have come up in our organization a few times. We have many courageous and a lot of grit driven and ambitious students who do want to pursue STEM. And a lot of the times after their second year or maybe their third year, they're starting to fail their classes. So that's not saying that you're a bad student or that you're not smart enough to complete that degree. What it's saying is, what's going on with me? What is not working? What do I need to reassess? And where do I need to pivot from this? Seeing it as, instead of a failure, the power of failure. So this is me failing. Okay, what can I do next? What can I move on to? What can I do to maybe change my path? What can I do to help myself? Because sometimes we can keep trying and trying and trying, just like as the saying goes, you try, the power of trying and trying again is like basically the power of insanity. So it's like just really seeing it as not a failure, seeing it as failing, as being able to overcome the obstacle and pivot. Pivoting is essential because sometimes you really want to become a nurse, you may really want to become an engineer, or you might want to double major, but sometimes there's going to be life obstacles that come into your life, and it's going to be another road bump. And it's like, okay, what can I do? I am failing at this. And then what can I do next?
Heather, thank you so very much. These are absolutely great pieces of advice, little nuggets of wisdom for tips for a successful freshman year. We appreciate them. And I guess I'll see you on the next recording.
Yes, I will see you. Thank you again for this. I appreciate it.
Okay, have a good one.